Welcome to Night Shadows. I'm Stuart Best, where the paranormal is normal, where that which you thought you knew, you didn't, and where the future can be known if you know exactly where to look.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to this short update on things that are going on, and there are a lot of things going on, actually, behind the scenes. Before we get going on that, though, the comments that Larry and I were talking about on Friday about no help, well, it is true that there's very little help. It's a few, but it was not meant for anyone who cannot. It really was meant for those who easily could do it, but simply refuse. And again, many thanks, I'm sure Larry as well, to the few that do help, even those who should not, simply because the Lord tells them that they should. And those people we greatly appreciate. And we do need help. There's no question about it. Things are getting a little tough. And anyway, I just wanted everybody to know that. And they have asked for the addresses. Well, Larry's address that he wants to use, Larry W. Taylor, P.O. Box 197, Smithville, Smithville, Oklahoma 74957. And the other address is either Stuart Best, B-E-S-T, or Best Video, P.O. Box 55, Downsville, Downsville, Wisconsin 54735, and I'll give it again at the end of the show. And there are links as well that you can link to. There's one on Lakegate Blogger, so you can do that. And Larry also has, I'm sure, an address on his blog site. Anyway, wanted to get that part out for you. And hi, Larry, how you doing?
Hey, Stuart, thanks for having me. Just the news keeps marching on.
What is the latest? There's so much to talk about, really. Everybody's saying that Mueller, or whatever you want to call him, the special counsel chief, should be fired. But Donald Trump says he has no plans on firing him at all. Is that true, as far as I know?
Well, that's the latest. Many reports coming out about Mueller, and of course, if people go to Drudge Report, they can read the top headlines today, and I posted that on my blog. But Trump came back to the White House late this evening after dark, and that was the first question he was asked, and he said no, he had no reason to fire Mueller. He just basically ignoring that question, and of course you have thoughts on that, but there is a lot of other news.
Yeah, maybe we can come back to that later. What's this deal with Kim, our little whiz kid over there in North Korea, threatening China? That he might even nuke China. We got a problem with this guy. Evidently, he's not going to stop doing what he's doing. Have you heard anything about a missile launch, either today, tomorrow, or soon?
Well, they're really concerned because this is the season of his father's, death, and they're afraid that he's going to either launch a missile or set off a nuke, and which he has not done that up till Sunday evening. So they're watching. But what's interesting, though, is the intrigue out of China, who sent an envoy who returned back to China with, I guess, nothing for an answer, and then suddenly, in the last few days, the second in command of North Korea, a military man named Wang, he has vanished, absolutely vanished from sight. He's nowhere to be seen. And then came the threat towards China from Kim, and there's speculation possibly that this second in command might have been a Chinese plant in North Korea, and Kim offed him and then threatened China with war. So, but as soon as China received a threat, they've put a lot of their ships to sea, and they're out off the North Korean coast. Of course, we never know for sure the direction this might take.
Well, I know one of our congressmen said the chance of war was now at 70%. And about a week or 2 weeks ago, they were talking, or more, they were saying, well, probably not, maybe 50%. Now they've jumped it way up to a 70% probability that we are going to be at war, whether Trump does it first or whether Kim does it first. And there were rumors, and I don't know if they're rumors, about U.S. paratroopers training for a North Korean insertion.
Yeah, that's actually true. Yahoo News is putting it out that forces, South Korean U.S. forces are training to parachute into North Korea and go after the nuclear sites. And and of course we've got Putin at the same time that is literally declaring basically a catastrophic war on the Korean Peninsula and is almost imminent. And by the way, Trump did give some CIA information to Putin, which actually captured the terrorists that were about to bring a terror attack for Christmas to the Orthodox Church there in Russia, and Putin called Trump and thanked him for saving the Russian people, that problem. So there's a lot of strange things going on.
Well, it's good that I got to say, it's good that they're talking on the phone, because for a long time, they weren't going to do that anymore. It's kind of like the North Korean, South Korean situation where they won't answer the phone in North Korea even if they get called. So they truly have isolated themselves. What's this deal about the United Nations saying that Trump's decision to make Jerusalem the capital, are they going to have a resolution to try and stop that?
Well, they're reportedly about to have a UN Security Council meeting just for that reason, to actually have a declaration that Jerusalem is not the capital of Israel, and that what Trump said cannot stand. And I guess we'll have to wait and see. I think they begin their session tomorrow, actually Monday. And what's interesting is the fact that it appears now that the UN is wanting to negate what Trump has declared and signed an executive order to, and stop the move, towards Jerusalem. Of course, you and I both know that's going to. And I've got a couple of Torah codes I wanted to share quickly too.
Yes.
When you get to that.
Yeah, go ahead. What's the Torah codes?
Oh, okay. Two of them from Barry Rothman, who just did them. The first code it's a new matrix. It's entitled "Trump Names Jerusalem as the Capital of Israel." Thank you, Gaza. And here's the wording. Number 1, Jerusalem is capital. Number 2, Israel. Number 3, in Gaza. Number 4, rocket. Number 5, right. So the Torah code already foreknew when Jerusalem was declared the capital of Israel that the trouble was going to begin in Gaza with rocket fire and developing into a riot. And that's exact. You just don't fool the Torah. It already knows, Stuart.
Yep, it already does. What's the second one?
Okay, the second one quickly is a Barry Rothman new code. It's entitled Peter Strauss Rewrote Comey's Draft on Clinton, and it's still under construction, but here's the 10 points. Number 1, P. Strauss. Number 2, editor. Number 3, Comey. Number 4, FBI. Number 5, Clinton. Number 6, corrupted. Number 7, this evil congregation. Number 8, president. Number 9, Mueller. Number 10, Putin. So it's a very complex code involving apparently the coup against Donald Trump and his presidency.
Yeah, speaking about a possible coup, you were is it Alan West is his name? that Congress might go home, but not many of them not come back or resign? Could this be over the sex allegations, or would this be a method to bring in martial law?
Well, we really just don't know. This is Alan West. He's a prior congressman, I believe, and actually he said an insider had reported to him that for various reasons it possibly could be a number of congressmen when they go home for Christmas, they simply will resign and not return. So I guess we've got to wait and see. But more and more coming out about these all kind of allegations. You know, we have trial by media now in America. We don't have trials. Yeah. Then there's OIC is what they call it. It's a group of 57 Arab nations are getting together to call the capital of Palestinians Jerusalem. So it goes along with what the UN is doing. This is interesting. Okay, because we are running short, I only made this a short one. Mayor of Chicago, and obviously Rahm Emanuel has approved whatever these guys in government or elsewhere are calling. Anyway, this is very, very important, folks, that the UN Secretary General to bring in United Nations peacekeeping troops. Now, remember that Rahm Emanuel denied troops when they were offered by Trump. Now, these guys, Rahm Emanuel and the rest of them, are communists. If they bring in peacekeeping, UN peacekeeping troops, it's a communist operation. And I remember Henry Kissinger saying that people would welcome UN peacekeepers on the streets to keep the peace, but not National Guard or United States Army. And remember that Chicago is Obama's hometown as well. And along with that, UN white vehicles are being all over the place, and it's a prelude to a total United Nations takeover because the UN operates under a communist charter, and it's the fourth beast of Daniel. There's no question about it. It's rising. And you should see our video on Angel Fall 923. It's called Unfriendly Fire and Iron Mountain Blueprint for All. You got anything else, Larry, before we close off? Well, I was just going to say that there's more speculation about this Oumuamua, the interstellar mysterious object.
Yes.
There's more and more coming out on that as we speak.
Yeah, and we'll have to get into that next week, the Lord willing. Anyway, I wanted to give addresses again. If you got a pencil, Larry W. Taylor, P.O. Box 197, Smithville, Oklahoma 74957. As far as I'm concerned, Best Video or Stuart Best, P.O. Box 55, Downsville, Wisconsin 54735. We could certainly use help. Anyway, anything else, Larry? Got about a minute left.
No, just people, as we go into basically a short time before Christmas, people just need to be aware of their surroundings and be very alert because there are rumors that ISIS and other forces want to cause troubles and disturbances in the U.S.
Yep, and we're coming up on Hanukkah, the last days of Hanukkah. And also, I want to mention the Atlanta shutdown of the airport may be a test run because you get involved in one of those. I'll get into it next week. I was involved in one of those when I was flying as a captain for General Electric Company, and total chaos. And I think that's what they want. If this went nationwide, it would be utter, complete chaos in the air traffic system. Anyway, thanks a lot, Larry, for coming on. Thanks, everyone, for listening, and we'll see you again, the Lord willing, next week. And thanks for your help.